Hey everyone! Well, here is your long-awaited car floating tutorial. I already did a tutorial on basic map painting, so if you haven't watched that, go watch that first because I am going to be somewhat speeding through this because it's relatively a long process. So yeah, watch that first so that you know the basics of what I'm doing. So alright, so let's get to this. Yeah, by the way, this is what we're going to be making. Maybe not with all the zoom effects and stuff, but I'll show you how to do the floating truck. So, alright. Actually, I deleted that old project, so I'll just be working from scratch. So, I'm going to import that exact same clip into After Effects. Drag it into a new composition, and actually what I did before, I didn't even Twixtor it, I just freeze the frame. I think it was where was it? I think it was right here. Yeah. So okay, so I'm gonna right click, actually Control Shift D to cut, and right click and go to time freeze frame. So then it's just like that, and then it pauses. And I just used some like editing speed. I sped it up and changed some stuff so that it wouldn't look awkward. But you can apply the same concept to moving clips as well. It's just it takes a lot more time because you have to motion track everything, and so I'm just gonna leave this to the still frame. So I'm going to trim the comp to work area. Alright, and actually I can get rid of the other one. So we just have the still frame. Okay. So really, map painting is, you have to be really imaginative, and you really have to think of where stuff would go and where you can use stuff. So first thing I'm going to do is rename this because stuff can get really messy if you don't stay organized. So this is going to be the main clip, and I'm going to duplicate this, rename this as Mat 1. Alright, so let's go to our masking pen tool. And first of all, I'm going to start masking an area over here where it's going to be the fence, and that's going to be put over the truck. Alright, and actually I can mask above also because of the stoplight. So and let's see, I can just do this. Alright, I'm going to click M to go to the masks option. I'm going to click my move tool and move this over to the correct space or place. Alright, and I'm going to scale this. I'm actually going to go to scale, maybe scale this down a tad. Should be fine. If you're really worried about the repetitiveness, you could always, maybe mirror this image or do more complicated, like more masks. But I'm just going to use this for now. And now I'm going to go to click M again to go to my mask. Go to the mask feather and increase this, maybe to 30, around 30 or so. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this, drag another one over here. Okay, maybe I could take this bring this down. Okay. Actually, looks like it can. Alright, that'll be fine. Gonna duplicate this again. Drag this more to the left. And this might be kind of messy and repetitive now because, you know, I'm trying to get through it for this tutorial, but you guys should definitely spend some more time on it when you do it yourselves. Alright. Maybe bring this down more. Okay. Now let's work on this road piece. So I'm going to duplicate this again, bring this all the way up, and rename this Mat 4. And I'm going to mask this area. Alright. And I'm going to bring it over here. Go to Mask by clicking M. Bring that up. Duplicate this a few times. Maybe I can rotate that. Okay, and let's see, I'm going to duplicate this again and bring it to the top. And now let's start masking this little, I'm not sure what it is. What is it? Cargo or something. And after that, we'll mask the truck. So, alright. I'm going to start outlining this. It's a lot nicer if you have a better quality clip because you can really see where you're masking, like right here. It's kind of tough, but it should work out alright. Okay. Go to M by clicking Mask, and I can minimize that. Bring up the feathering, or actually bring it up, and maybe let's change the mask expansion. Maybe make that a 1. Okay. Now I'm going to rename that to Mat 7. Let me duplicate the main clip again, bring this to the top, rename this to Mat 8. And as you can see, this can be a very lengthy process. So if you're in for this, make sure you got some time because this isn't a quick thing. So, alright, let's mask the truck now. We're actually not going to mask the shadow because we're going to create a shadow by itself in After Effects by making a solid so that we can move it along when the truck moves. So, okay, so let's start masking this truck. Kind of hard to see where it is, but should be alright. Okay. Get the edges, and looking pretty good so far. Alright, we're actually going to have to remake part of this truck back there because that's going to be concealed. Actually, we might be alright on that. That's possible that we'll have to remake some of these tires right here because it's covered by this. Okay. Zoom in here. Okay, so there we go. We got the truck. Click M to go to the mask, or actually you can click F to feather, but then you don't have the mask expansion, so alright. Make that feather of 2 maybe, and bring out the expansion to 1. Should be good. I'm actually gonna save this so that I don't lose all my work if something happens. Alright. So there we go. We have the truck, which we can move around. We have, if we hide these, you can see that if I get rid of this, we have these masks that covered up that area so that we can pretty much change whatever we want. Alright, so everything's looking pretty good except we have to change around some stuff. So let's get rid of this, or hide mat 7, and oops. Actually the truck looks pretty good by itself. We don't need to recreate anything on it, but on other instances where you would have to mask maybe another part of the tire, bring it over, or even work in Photoshop. You can work a lot in matte paintings in Photoshop, and you would parent that new mat to the main truck so that whenever you move the truck, the other piece that you matte painted onto the truck will move alongside it. Alright. And also, I'm not sure if it does it in After Effects CS5 and below, but CS6 has a nice little thing where you can hover over your mask and it kind of outlines it, so that's cool to see where you made the masks and such. So, alright, so let's get to making the shadow. Alright, so let's make a layer. Let's go to Layer, New, and Solid. Change the color to, just keep it pitch black because we can always change the color by adjusting the opacity. Okay. Okay. Alright, so now actually let's hide everything except the main clip. But make sure you're still selected onto the black solid because we're going to do some masking here. And don't worry, the mask still applies even though the layer is hidden. It'll still go into the layer. Alright, so now we're going to mask around the shadow, and we're also going to have to, you could go into the map, I guess, I'm not sure where the shadows exactly are, and you could go and see where they are exactly, but I'm just going to kind of guess where the shadow ends over here. I'm guessing it's around right here, so I'm going to start masking right here. Okay. Alright, and now if we click this button right here to unhide that, we can bring that below mat 8 and mat 7, which are the truck and this little thing, and we can turn everything else on. So now you can see that we have that black solid, but it doesn't look too good, so let's change that up. Click on, actually let's rename this to truck shadow. Click on it and click M to go to the mask tool, and let's change the feather up to maybe 4 or 5, and then you can click T to go to opacity, lower that so that it matches with these other shadows. And actually on your solid, you'd probably want to, when you go to layer new solid, actually I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to go layer new solid, and I'm going to use this pin drop tool and get the color of this shadow. Okay, and now I can click M, I can click on the mask, go to edit, copy, and paste that into the new shadow, and get rid of this one, bring this down, rename this truck shadow, go to T, and change that up so that looks a little better. Maybe if we go to the mask, we can bring down the mask feather to 1. That looks pretty good. Okay, so now we can move the shadow accordingly. Actually, if you double click on it there, then you can move it. Alright, so this is looking pretty good. So let's get to the actual moving of the truck. So alright, let's go to our truck, which is, okay, I'm going to rename this truck mat, and this is, I'm just going to put luggage. I have no idea what that actually is, but that's alright. So I'm going to click truck mat, click T, or actually P for position, put a keyframe there, go farther into the timeline, and I'm going to drag this up. So now if we play this, you can see that the truck is going up. Everything looks pretty good except the shadow is not moving accordingly, so we'll have to change that. So go into the truck shadow, click P, set a keyframe, let's go a little farther, set another keyframe, and I'm assuming that the light, because the shadows are being cast on this side, is probably that the sun is most likely over here. I'm not too sure. I guess you could go on the actual map and look in the sky and see where it is exactly, but that's what I'm guessing, that it's over here. So if something is moving up, the shadow is probably going to be moving this way, or in this way, in this relative distance over here. So make sure it's on the same keyframe times as the truck, and I'm going to move this over here. So then if I play that, you can see that they move accordingly. Yeah, and that's looking pretty good. Now on my initial contest experiment, you can see that everything is kind of moving forward like it's in 3D space, and that's because it actually is. I did a lot of extra matte painting around here and the guy, and I masked the gun and moved things forward based on how close they are. Like if you're moving forward, then things closer are going to move quicker than things in the background, so I moved the gun quicker than the truck would move, and just all relative to the distance, that how far it is away from you. So I did a lot of extra masking around here for the gun, so when it moved back this way, there would still be the street right here and stuff like that. But this is the main idea of the actual truck. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and this is definitely really useful for if you're compositing things and you want to get rid of certain things, like maybe the actual truck, you just want to make all that disappear. So, you know, whatever you want it for, it's definitely really handy. So, hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and make sure to subscribe, comment, and like the video, and I'll see you next time.